said, the AfriScience network is the network that connects African scientists across various fields of research and industry, and it caters for all aspects of science and promotes scientific research in Africa by Africans and fostering research collaborations, sharing opportunities, scholarship, research, and a host number of ventures. So today is one of AfriScience Network webinar series. So formally handing over to Dr. Aminu for a formal introduction of our speaker for today. I'm yours, Dr. Wadzani, the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wadzani. Today we have a distinguished speaker in our midst who is no one but Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik, who is an associate professor of psychiatry and consultant psychiatrist with the Department of Psychiatry at College of Medicine, University of Ibadan in Nigeria. He's a passionate mental health advocate and the founder of Asido Foundation, a not-for-profit mental health advocacy organization with a website, www.asidofoundation.com. He's a strong champion for public mental health with a focus on mental health advocacy and stigma reduction, as well as the successful integration of mental health into primary care. He strives for improving access to quality mental health care services. Dr. Abdulmalik contributes a weekly forum, Your Mental Health and You, for a national daily, the Nigerian Tribune, on Thursdays since 2016. These articles were published as a book titled Optimal Mental Health, an Everyday Guide in 2019. He has also co-authored a book titled Mental Health in the Workplace, a practical guide for HR managers, and has published over 100 peer-reviewed journal articles and book chapters. He has worked on several international projects as a co-investigator and project consultant with the World Health Organization, CBM Australia, and on European Union-funded projects. And he has also served as mental health consultant to the West African Health Organization, WAHO, as one of two consultants that developed the first strategic mental health plan for West Africa in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our distinguished speaker for today, Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik, for webinar number 26, which is titled Nexus Between Mental Health and Academia. Thank you so much, sir, and you're highly welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Professor Aminu. Thank you so much. Professor Adewale, I think I still didn't get your tip.
You can put it on slide now, sir.
I can put it on slideshow.
Slideshow, yes. After putting on share entire screen.
Okay, share the entire screen or the page. Let me see.
No, entire screen. When you want to share entire screen. Then you now go back to your presentation.
So let me stop sharing and then redo it. Apologies again. Entire screen. But when I do entire screen, the only thing I'm seeing is the page that has this. Okay, so let me take that. So now I can, but how do I share the screen now?
Go to your presentation and then click on entire screen. Okay, yes.
Presentation.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It is okay now.
Okay, but I can't see the meeting anymore, but that's fine. So let me just run through quickly. Apologies for the hitches. So mental health challenges in academia. I'll just talk about introduction. We'll look at mental health in academia. Then, most importantly, for us as researchers, we don't only identify problems and research problems. We also aim to investigate to offer solutions. So I will also like to provide some tips about how we can promote our emotional well-being, and then we conclude. So basics, please, apologies if you are medical and this is too elementary for you. Please pardon me. But I always like to start from first principles. WHO's definition of health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. What that means is that health is like a table that sits on three legs. One leg is physical, another is mental, and the third is social. Some people say spiritual is under social. either ways, that's it. So, but you know, when you go to the university, you take up employment, they say go for medicals. What they mean is go and do chest x-ray, urine test, ask you questions. Are you hypertensive? Are you diabetic? That's all. So what we're actually doing is physicals, not health. We're not doing medical. If we are doing medical checkup, it will be physical checkup, mental checkup, as well as evaluation of your social adjustment and life. So that's what I'm just saying here, that health is like a table. It sits on 3 legs: physical, mental, and social. If any of those legs is problematic, you will not be healthy. But we concentrate essentially on our physical well-being. We neglect 66.6%. Our mental and our social well-being, we neglect it. We focus only on physical, and that is 33.3%. There is no exam in any university where you score 33.3%, or you have an essay question, three questions, all carry equal marks, and you only answer one question perfectly, and you will not write even letter A for question B and C. You can't pass that question, right? So this is just it. And then we also need to appreciate that these 3 components of health, the physical, the mental, and the social, they are interwoven. They are interconnected. They affect each other. So if I have a diagnosis of cancer now, that is a physical illness. That physical diagnosis is going to affect my mental health. Because if I'm told I have cancer, I'm not going to go to the mosque and say, well, alhamdulillah, thank God I'm about to die. Or go to church and say, oh, I'm doing Thanksgiving to celebrate that I'm about to die. That is not likely. What is more likely is that I'll become anxious, I'll become worried, and maybe depressed, and those will be the mental health complication of my physical diagnosis of cancer. It's also going to negatively affect my social well-being. At least my finances will take a hit. Okay, so I've started with cancer and I've illustrated the mental and social impact. How about social? If you have an unhappy marriage, or you have financial worries, or you are being bullied at work, these are all social issues. These social issues can impact negatively your physical health and you become hypertensive. It can negatively impact your mental health and you become anxious, worried, you may become depressed, you will have sleepless nights, and so on. So the key message I'm trying to pass here is that the 3 components of health, the physical, the mental, and the social, they are interconnected and they affect each other. I hope that message is clear. When we now talk about mental health, what are the criteria for seeing whether we are enjoying good mental health or not? Number 1, again, this is by WHO, not by me. Number 1 is that you are able to strive to fulfill your potentials. All of us on this call, we all have different potentials. Some people may be very analytical and methodical with a fine eye for detail. Some people are just very impulsive and they have a lot of ideas. Some people are very talkative. Some are very quiet. You know, we all have, some are very good in mathematics, some are poor in mathematics, some are very good with financial management and being frugal with money. Some are just, they spend money as they see it. You know, we all have different attributes, different potentials, but each and every one of us, the ability to fulfill your potential, my ability to fulfill my potential depends on my enjoying good mental health. If you are not enjoying good mental health, you'll be punching below your weight. You will not be able to maximize your full potential. That's number 1. Number 2, the ability to cope with the normal stress of life. These are, remember, this WHO definition of good mental health. Underlying normal stress of life. Everybody goes through stress, and that stress is normal. But the key feature is, how are you coping? You are doing masters, is stressful. You are doing PhD, is stressful. You are a postdoc, stressful. You are doing research in academia, stressful. You become a professor, stressful. You now have more responsibilities. Oh, come and be the dean, come and be HOD, more stress. So the person who is in primary school says it's stressful. Secondary school, I have to pass WAEC and JAMB. I have to get admission. Undergraduate says he's stressed. Postgraduate says he's stressed. Lecturer, stress. Professor, stress. Everybody, you are rich, stress. You are poor, stress. You are married, stress. You are single, stress. Everybody goes through stress. And the English have put it in this way that he who wears the shoe knows where it is pinching. But the criteria here is, how are you dealing with the stress in your life? How am I dealing with the stress in my life? Of course, we are going to come down on academia later, but according to WHO, the ability to cope with the normal stress of life is a reflection of your mental well-being. That's number 2. Number 3, productive work. To be able to be productive in the work you do, attention and concentration, meet deliverables, meet targets, and so on. If you are not enjoying good mental health, you can go to the office and open the system, and the system will be looking at you, and you'll be looking at the system, and the hours will just go, work done 0. Your mind is not there because you are not at your best. So ability to work productively is a reflection of your mental well-being. And the last one is your relationship with people. You will note that none of these 4 attributes, none said if you are roaming the street naked. So you can be well-dressed, speak Queen's English, be a professor, and be having grants, and yet you may not enjoy good mental health. Is that possible? Yes, the answer is yes, it's very possible. So mental illnesses are conditions where there are abnormalities in your thinking, in your mood, in your behavior, or a combination of this. Not only that, it is significant enough to cause you distress or to cause you problems in your functioning. Then we say there's a problem. Now, it's important to appreciate that nobody is 100% mentally healthy. Nobody is 0. If we delete mental here and we replace it with physical, nobody is 100% physically healthy and nobody is 0. If you are 0, it means there's no organ in your body, there's no system that is working. And if that is so, then you are dead. As long as you are alive, you cannot be 0. So the reality is, both for physical and mental health, all of us, we are on this continuum. Nobody is 100, nobody is perfect, nobody is 0. So, but if you fall below 50, if you have a headache that is severe enough, you go to your doctor. If you are having fever that is severe enough, you go to your doctor. But if it is mild or something, you manage. So it is when you drop below 50 that you need intervention, whether for physical or for mental health issues. Also important to appreciate that mental health problems are very common. Apologies, I want to lay a very good foundation. That's why I'm taking time with these basics. When we now go to mental health problems in academia, it will be clear when we understand and we are on the same page with respect to what mental health problems are. So please indulge me. So 1 in every 4 persons is going to experience a mental health problem in their lifetime. Remember, mental health problem does not mean madness. It could be anxiety, it could be phobia, it could be panic attack, it could be depression, it could be substance use, excessive alcohol use, excessive smoking of cigarettes or cannabis, could be anything, right? So 1 in every 4, and every family has at least father, mother, 2 children. So what that means, every family is at risk of at least one family member at some point experiencing a mental health problem. There is none of us in this meeting that can beat his chest or her chest and say, in my life, I've never been anxious before. I've never been worried before, such that I wasn't sleeping well and I was irritable. What that means is at that time you had anxiety disorder, right? You may have overcome it on your own without treatment, but it means you had a mental health problem. So I'm saying this just to demystify, so that we don't think, oh, mental health problem means madness. It means the person is roaming the street. No, I may be giving this talk and I'm depressed. Maybe my marriage is not happy. Maybe I'm struggling at work. Maybe I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm depressed. You know, so all of this can happen, as we will see very clearly. Now, different types of mental health challenges, emotional disorders like anxiety, like stress, panic attack, and so on. Psychotic disorders, where they are hearing and seeing things that are not there, hallucinations, or they have delusions, or they are not in touch with reality. Addiction, drugs, those are just examples. We can also classify them by age category. Children can have autism. Children can have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Adults can have everything. Old age dementia is a common problem. And then for gender, depression is common among women, ratio 2:1. During pregnancy, after delivery, women may have postpartum depression. Drug abuse is common in men. So most people say, oh, mental health problems is spiritual. But, you know, when we didn't understand genotype, sickle cell disease, we used to talk about evil children that are reincarnating and tormenting their parent. So we call them Obanje in the East, or Abiku among the Yorubas. I don't know what it's called in the North. right? But now that we understand genotype, nobody is talking of Obanje and Abiku again. Once upon a time in this country, we are killing twins as evil children. Nobody is doing so anymore. So the reality is that when we know better, we do better. We also have better understanding of mental health now. We know how the brain works. So we should do away with the shame and stigma associated with mental health problems. And anybody going through any challenge, you should feel free to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist for therapy or for treatment. No shame, no stigma, with a better understanding. So let's now look at mental health in academia. You know, we know that we have a lot of challenges: publish or perish, resource constraints, lack of equipment, salaries are poor, my take-home pay cannot take me home, working environment is not very conducive, many times there's no light, we share offices. In UCH for 3 months, we didn't have light. NEPA cut our light that we are owing money. And offices, so of course the hospital was putting on gen, but they were prioritizing clinics and theater. Our offices were in darkness for 3 months. So many academic staff share offices. Most people use their own money to put in inverter, right? And by the time there's no light, every department puts on their generator. So the noise and vibration, there's noise pollution, and so on. We also have a lot of bullying by senior colleagues. Your PhD supervisor, your master's supervisor, your professors in the department, they will tell you they pay their own dues. So now is the time for you to do all the work, right? And so on, work overload because we don't have enough staff. Environmental challenges in our society. We have our children go to the same market as everybody, buy from there, pay school fees. And so on. People say, you're a professor. The family wants to do something now, you should drop big money. If you drop 50,000, they'll say, calls himself a professor, you only drop 50,000. Right? Or you're a PhD. He's a doctor now. He's a doctor and he's a lecturer in the university. The big man should drop big money. But you and I know that it's not like that. We also don't have a lot of support systems in our system. And we have a lot of shame and stigma associated. Now, let's just look at the prevalence of anxiety and depression among graduate trainees, that's PhD students, and then the global population. So if you look at overall, this is A is overall graduate trainees among postgraduate trainees, whether masters or PhDs. Overall, look at anxiety is almost 40% overall, both male and female. Depression is about 38% for postgraduate trainees. Now, compared to the general population, for the general population, anxiety is just about 3.5%. Depression is about 4.2%. 4.2% compared to 38%. 3.5% compared to about 40%. You see the problem. So among academics, trainees, postgraduate students, the anxiety and depression is way, way much higher than the general population. This was a study done by the WHO in 2017 and Evans et al. In 2018. We also have a big problem about suicide in academia, right? 20% of full-time academics have significant levels of depression, almost equal for male and female. I'm running a bit because I know we are behind time. Office of National Statistics in the UK reports that 1 undergraduate suicide death occurs every 4 days. University of Bristol lost 11 students in 1 calendar year to suicide. But what are the figures for Nigeria? Scanty data, we don't know. When I was doing my PhD in the University of Cape Town, this was the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Professor Mayosi, Professor of Cardiology, lots of grants. He was very highly cited, high achieving, but he died by suicide in 2018. He was depressed. The professor of medicine was depressed. His wife is also a doctor, and he took his own life. This is from newspapers. Lecturer commits suicide in Benin. This was October 2020. Lecturer commits suicide in Kwasu over demotion, 2017. In 2019, here in UI, a lecturer in Department of Mathematics died in circumstances that looks very much like suicide. He set his apartment on fire with himself inside and locked all the doors. He sustained burns and eventually died. So these are things that are not just among Oyibo. These examples are from South Africa, Benin, Kwara, and UI. So these are things that are with us. It's not it's an Oyibo thing. That's not correct. Okay, role of the family, challenges of parents and spouses. We have a lot of, we are busy. Oh, I have promotion, I have papers to write, I have a deadline to meet, I want to write for a grant proposal. And so we stop spending time with our families. Our spouses gradually drift apart. Our marriages become threatened. Finance is frequently a source of friction. In-laws and relatives can also put pressure. Childbearing and child upbringing can also cause stress. And when you are frustrated, if you are not careful, you go home and you take it out on your family. And that should not be it. So they shouldn't be the one at the receiving end of all your frustrations. And very importantly, we take our family for granted. We are already married. I've married her. I've married him. I already have children for him. Yeah, she has. What would they do? Where would they go? Where would they start from again? We take our family for granted, and that is a very big mistake to do. How about students? I'll just breeze through these ones because students also, the commonest challenges for adolescents, anxiety, depression, drug abuse, suicidal behaviors. So I'm taking it that they are also part of academia because they are our students and we should know what their challenges are. Low self-esteem, many of them struggle with relationship, peer pressure. They have academic pressure in the university. If they don't come to class for 2 weeks, you may not know because they have different lecturers. Temptation to try drugs, bullying can occur, relationship, that's when they start toasting boyfriend, girlfriend, and if they have rejection, some of them may fall into depression, right? And some of them also have family problems from their homes. So what we need to help our students to understand is that failure and difficulties are normal part of life. Life is a school where you do the exam first before you receive the lectures, right? I mean, in school, you teach, and at the end of the semester, you set exams. But in life, the exam will come first, then you learn the lesson afterwards. So when you fail an exam or you do badly in a life situation, they should just dust themselves. All of us, just dust ourselves and move on. Learn from it and move on. That is life. Life itself is a school. So the most important aspect is now that we know that stress, emotional problems are normal and present, especially in academia, at much higher level than general population. The question is, what can we do about it? So here it's not an exhaustive list, it's just a list of things that we can do to improve our mental well-being. Good sleep. As academia, we tend to treat sleep like a luxury. It's not important. I have to work, I have deadlines, I must work through the night. But God that has created us has programmed us to sleep for 1/3 of our day, 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. If you sleep for 8 hours, that is 1/3 of 24 hours, which means if you are 30 years old now, you should have slept for 10 years of your life. When you are 45, you should have slept for 15 years of your life. When you hit 60, you should have slept for 20 years. Why? Because when you sleep, that is when the brain repairs itself and all of that. So sleep is fundamentally important. It's not a luxury. Number 2, invest in human relationship. We have to be intentional in cultivating our relationship. Everybody needs somebody else to have your back. So it's not a luxury that no man is an island. We all need each other. So, but if you don't intentionally nurture relationship, when you are now needy, you find that you're all alone. You look back and there's nobody. Not even your own family, because you've alienated them. You want to be the fastest to become professor, the fastest to complete your PhD in rocket time, the fastest to get many grants, the most cited in the university. And you're busy doing all of that and you neglect your family. By the time you now realize that you need a family, you look back and they are not there again. So very important. Exercise regularly. We should not prioritize our academics to the extent that we neglect our physical well-being. You remember, if you are in a plane, safety instructions, they will always, before the plane starts, they will always tell you safety instructions. They will demonstrate in the event of loss of cabin pressure, mask will drop, put your own first before you help others. You cannot give what you don't have. If you are not healthy, we also had a lecturer here in UI who just went to his office, put his head down and passed on. He was under too much stress and pressure. And he wasn't, anyway. So we all have to look after our physical well-being. We have to be healthy. You can't give what you don't have. So try and stay fit. Exercise regularly doesn't mean go to the gym. Take a walk every morning or every evening. Make sure you are physically fit. Go for health checks. Check your blood pressure. Make sure you are not diabetic. Once you are 40 and above, every year you should do annual medical, comprehensive medical checkup. Check up your kidneys, check your liver, check your blood, your everything, blood sugar, and so on. So that is very helpful. And when you exercise, it helps you to relax and reduce stress, and your muscles will relax, and that makes you feel better. Spend quality time with family. Don't take work problems home, and don't bring home problems to the office. Enjoy every day that you are alive. Every day you wake up, you are able to stretch, get up from your bed, stretch your legs, and you are able to breathe by yourself. You go to the restroom, you urinate, no pain, no blood, no difficulty. Some people are in the teaching hospital as an emergency because they can't urinate for more than 1 day. And you see them sweating and all. You know, when you go for a conference or you go to a new place and you go to the restroom and all the restrooms are filled up and you are really pressed, you start dancing. Imagine how uncomfortable you are for just that short period for one person to come out. Now imagine somebody that cannot urinate for 1 day or for 2 days. The amount of distress, the abdomen will be swollen, the bladder will be very distended, they will be in pain. So every day you go to the restroom, you urinate comfortably, you should thank God. You put food in your mouth and you swallow it without pain. You can savor the taste. You thank God. You are breathing oxygen by yourself. During COVID, you know how many people could not breathe? They had to put them on oxygen and put them on a ventilator. You are breathing by yourself. Be grateful. It's not all about how much you have in your bank account. So let us appreciate life. The life's simple pleasures don't cost anything. As academics, we must avoid the trap of drug abuse. Don't say, oh, I really need stimulant. I need to stay awake. I need to take something. I need to smoke something. That's a trap. I need to drink alcohol when I've worked hard so that I can relax and calm myself. Then you become an alcoholic. That is a trap. Don't allow that damage your health. Clear your weekends. We work hard Monday to Friday. Saturday, somebody's daughter is marrying. Somebody's person is doing a bad day. It will not be nice if I don't show face. You are in 5 places. On Sunday, you go to church. After service, you are in one committee or the other. Or you go for NASFAT. You shall have a way of making sure all your days are full. How are you going to rest? Body no be good. It's not good for emotional. You have to make out time. Rest is an essential component of well-being and mental well-being. Spirituality and religion may be helpful, but you have to be careful that it doesn't become a stressor. How can it become a stressor? Excuse me. You go to the church and the man of God says, oh, Professor, I want you to chair this committee. You want to do this. I think you are the best person to chair it. And you know that your table is really filled. You are busy. You don't have time. But how will you say no to man of God? So you say, okay, the Lord will help me, so I'll try. In your mind, you are crying, but you don't want to say no to man of God. So that can become a stressor. Okay? Seek help if you need it. If you are struggling, there is no shame in saying, I want to see a doctor, I want to see a psychologist, I think I'm not coping well. Please, let us do so. Develop your emotional intelligence, your relationship with people, understanding other people's emotions, being nice to other people. When you're actually nice to other people, you are being nice to yourself because your brain rewards you by releasing certain chemicals that lift your mood. So that's what I mean by when you are nice to others, you are being nice to yourself. We must also not forget to be nice to ourselves. Usually we are our own worst critics. So when you fall short of what you want to achieve, forgive yourself, dust yourself and try again another time. And stay humble. Don't start becoming arrogant. Don't let your success get to your head and you start thinking it's only you that can do anything. Who are you? You are not going to live forever, right? And when you die, the sun will still rise and it will still set. Other people will take over your office. Other people will take over your research projects. Do you get my point? So let us stay humble. Let us realize that none of us is getting out of this world alive. Just do your best. And as you are doing your best on that journey, remember to be happy. Remember to enjoy every phase of your academic journey. Okay? And last words, we have a program, a project that's a TED Fund project, funded project to develop a pragmatic model of university mental health services. I am the principal investigator for that project, and it's taking place in UIA, LASU, and Fountain universities. In the next year or two, we should start having outputs. And then I'm also the founder of ACEDO Foundation. Please follow us on our website and social media handles so that you get more information about how to promote your mental health and your emotional well-being. That's our social media handles. We also have a helpline for anybody going through difficulties to be able to call us and speak to a mental health professional for free, zero cost. That's the number there. We started it during COVID, during the pandemic, 0902 8080 416. So you can save that number, and anyone you know who is going through difficulties can call us and speak to a professional for advice. If they need more intensive therapy, we can then refer them to the nearest facility. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Jibril Abdulmalik. I'm highly impressed, honestly, and this is a very interesting topic, and which is a very important topic that affects almost everyone.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, and I must say that I was wondering why during my training abroad in Europe, those people from Mondays to Fridays, they work like donkeys, but only during working hours. So from 8, they work for 8 hours in a day, and after 5 o'clock, nobody will talk to you. Nobody is going to discuss anything work. And weekends also, they enjoy themselves. They don't reply to emails. If they're on holidays, they are completely off. But
automated response. I'm on leave.
Exactly.
Contact so and so.
Exactly. But here we are even proud.
Can you come to the office and do this one?
That is it. So some of the things, some of the stresses, you cannot control them because there are things that come up because the society is like that. Weekend, you can be asked to come. Even if you plan yourself, it may not work because you can be invited to do something. And some individuals also feel like, well, personally, also because I do a lot of things, so I believe that I can only move fast by working extra hard, by having some maybe extra working hours out of the official working hours, and also on the weekend, like journal reviews for scientific articles and things like that. But overall, this is an excellent topic. Thank you so much, sir. And I will now open the door for question and answers, contributions as well, if there is any. We are already ahead of time.
Thank you, Professor Jibril Abdulmalik. It has always been an honor. Thank you for your erudite presentation. How does one balance this? Given the fact you have said everything about the academia, you publish or you die, how can we have a practical? I know you said you are doing something, maybe as a department or as a university commission, a requisite that all universities where academicians go through this, that we try they enforce it as a policy or a reorientation program for all academicians. Thank you once again, Prof. It's usually an honor to hear you. I'm Dr. Mui. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Jibril, please, I would like to ask you, how do you prefer to answer your questions? Is it immediately, or you take the first batch of 3, or immediately after every question? Okay.
Let me take the batch of 3s.
Okay, fine. Professor Ade, your hand is still up, or is it your? Okay, fine. I think I will recognize Professor Chinyere Ukokolo. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Abdulmalik. Thank you for a very, very, very insightful presentation. It's always awesome to listen to you, and anytime I have opportunity to listen to you, I try to do that. What you have presented is quite, it actually exposed the condition that academics find themselves, particularly in Nigerian situation, where you have rightly also mentioned the issue of understaffing, so which, a question on balancing has been raised. But I want to go to the area of our students, how lecturers could actually help their students. 2 sessions ago, one of my students worked on mental health among students in a particular faculty in University of Ibadan. And the findings of that research was quite revealing. which you have rightly pointed out here. And that's why I feel that lecturers should, I know it's not easy, but just look at these children, and see how we can make things easier for them. When they come with a complaint, we should, listen. I know it's not easy because we have so many things we are battling, but these children are having problems. Besides financial problem that's leading to depression, they're having so many other things. So that I think that academics, lecturers, teachers of these students can actually contribute in trying to see how things can be easier for them. So that's just what I want, my comment and observation.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Chinyere. I have a Professor Ikechukwu Igbokwe here. You can unmute yourself and speak, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Aminu, and thank you, Jibril.
Thank you, Prof.
I'm an exercise enthusiast because right from secondary school, I identified it as something that is important. But in the university system, I found that there is no priority given to physical fitness, realization, facilities. Like in the university I am now, the University Staff Club is dead for several years. The tennis courts, table tennis environment, everything is dilapidated. Nobody cares, Once in a while, you see a people on the street trying to walk, take a walk in the evenings or in the morning. But there is virtually no attention being given to fitness. Even the students are also getting into the routine of not building in relaxation exercise like it was in several years ago when I was an undergraduate. Well, there are time blocks that are not interfered with, no lectures around those periods. People are encouraged to go do the exercises that they do enjoy. Tennis courts are filled up. You go to football pitches, not just one pitch is available for students. But now, such things are just disappearing. Emphasis is not being given to them. I don't know how well the promotion can start going in that direction. How can the universities be sensitized to revitalize that aspect? Because I see the preventive aspect of this mental health very important as a very important aspect that needs an emphasis, and that emphasis needs to be promoted. I don't know whether your agency or your foundation can begin to do something in this direction to help us. I know that most of us who have also attended this webinar probably would have known that this is a fact of our experiences, and we should be doing something to mitigate or even prevent occurrences in the direction that we are talking about. Mobility should come to as low as 0 if it's possible within the academia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Igbokwe. Dr. Abdulmalik, will you take one more, please, from Professor Ernest Abubakar?
Okay, please.
Okay, Professor Ernest Abubakar, you can unmute yourself, please, and speak. Thank you so much. Hello, Professor Ernest Abubakar. Can you hear me? Okay, I think Malik, you can go on and respond to the first question.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me start from Professor Igbokwe. Thank you so much. It's echoing.
Yeah, I think Professor Igbokwe, if you can mute yourself because of the echo.
Okay, it's muted now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I totally appreciate you really hit the nail on the head by saying that we should focus on preventive measures to promote good mental well-being. And exercise is very important. Exercise helps not just physical well-being, but our emotional well-being. You know, so we really have to embrace that culture. We think it's a waste of time. But I think you mentioned one thing that is positive. You need to get the management to buy in and invest in rehabilitating the staff club and all of those ones. But while you are trying to do advocacy for that, you can start low-hanging fruits. Maybe you put an advert, say, oh, let's walk for fitness once every 2 weeks, even if it's once a month. We'll meet at the front of the UI of the gates of the university. We will walk. This will be the route that we'll take, and we come back. Then we do aerobics for 30 minutes. Last Saturday of every month or every other Saturday, low hanging. All you need is just comfortable shoes and comfortable trousers. Join us and so on. Gradually, you may start with 1 or 2 people. If you do publicity, you do a flyer, you share on ASU platform, on other platforms, you'll be surprised. Students, staff, others may start joining gradually, and you build a momentum. Then you can begin to put pressure about rehabilitation of facilities. So I think that's very important, and you are very correct. Professor Chinyere, I totally thank you so much for your kind comments. Totally agree. We have to be humane and gentle to our students. Let's remember that we are parentis in loco. We are standing in the position of parents. And some of us also have children who are in tertiary institutions. So imagine if this was your son or your daughter. Many times their excesses are due to ignorance and inexperience and naivety. We stand in a good position to redirect them and shape their thinking and advise them. So, but at least let us, I can tell you for free, when I was a medical student, we had lecturers who used to bully us. They would tell us in preclinical school that, oh, all of you want to be doctors. Your names are still written in pencil. Not all of you will pass the almighty MB and cross to the teaching hospital. So they threaten us. Imagine a lecturer coming to class, different lecturers. Some will say, oh, if you look to your left, look to your right. If the person to your left passes, you are not going. If you pass, the person to your left is not going. So we lived in fear, and that was totally unnecessary. There's no reason why all of us cannot pass. Even if all of us did not pass, some people may have an extra year, and if they work hard, they will pass subsequently. But imagine torturing 18, 19-year-olds that way and making them feel so afraid for their life. It's totally unnecessary. So please let us make sure that we are not bullying our students. Let us help them to thrive, to flourish. Don't forget that in neuroscience, we know that the frontal lobe, the part of the brain in front here, that is responsible for executive decision-making, judgment, logical and analytical reasoning, that part matures fully at the age of 24. Many of our students will have finished their first degree by 24. So it means your students are not mature enough in terms of logical and, decision-making. Right? And so you have to give them some wiggle room, some allowance for naivety and youthful exuberance while you correct and redirect, but don't break them. Don't be too harsh on them. So I totally support Professor Chinyere's admonition to all of us. Let us be parents for them. And Dr. Obum, my colleague, thank you so much for joining and for your kind comments. I think that we have to take responsibility for ourselves. Oh, publish or perish. You will die if you don't publish, if you don't do this. Totally unnecessary. Relax. You take, if you are driving, you have the steering wheel of your car. You decide whether you are making a left turn or a right turn. And if you realize you're on the wrong road, you make a U-turn and go back. You are in control of your life. Don't let anybody put gra-gra and harass you. You must be ready in 3 years. If you are ready in 4 years, no problem. If you are ready in 5 years, but plan. Don't just leave it to chance. If you plan to have a research project, to have one publication every 3 months, that is first author, that means in a calendar year, you are aiming for a minimum of 4. In 3 years, you will have 12 first author papers in universities where they prioritize first author. Now collaborate with others. So you will now have third, fourth author in other people's own. And if they collaborate with you, they can also add on to. So multiplier exponential impact. So if somebody has 100 papers, it doesn't mean the person is first author on 100 papers. It's not possible. Science is teamwork, right? You can't be the statistician, the research design and everything by yourself. Only you write the whole, do the whole research. It's not possible. So, but when you work in teams, you exponentially increase your output and you learn more from everybody. They learn from you, you learn from them, and everybody. The acronym TEAM in teamwork, T stands for together, E, everyone, A, achieves, M, more. Together, everyone achieves more. So that is a very pragmatic way of expanding your impact and your output by working in teams. And then you determine your day. You can decide that I'm keeping Fridays free. I won't have any lectures on Friday. Thursday is my postgraduate students to do their revision, meet them. Friday is my research day. And that Friday, look for somewhere to go and sit. Don't stay in your typical office where people come and be knocking on your door. Go to the library. Go somewhere else where you have free time to concentrate and do your own work. And then weekend, plan your weekend. It may not always go according to plan, but if you don't have a plan, if you say failure to plan is planning to fail. So if you plan 3 out of 10 times, the plan may not work. But if it works for you 7 out of 10 times, that is success. That is distinction mark. So let us take responsibility. The organization and our country is not going to become perfect overnight, where all the factors, everything is perfect. No. So, but you have to look out for your own head and plan your own life and take little steps to protect your sanity and protect your peace of mind. Don't allow people to railroad you and put gra and anxiety and pressure. You must do this, you must do that. No. Of course, they mean well. They want you to make progress, but you have to process it and plan your life and look at what is comfortable for you and then try to do that. Remember, let us enjoy our journey of life. Academia is our career. While you are doing that career, you can also have fun. You can also enjoy the journey. Don't wait and say, oh, it's when I become professor. That's when I'll start relaxing. It's when I do this. That's when I'll start relaxing. Who told you that you live long enough to be professor? Who told you it's when I become dean? It's when I retire. While you are an undergraduate, enjoy it. While you are a postgraduate student, enjoy that journey. Network with people. Have fun. While you are a junior academic, enjoy that phase and work hard to learn as much as you can. When you become a senior researcher, mentor others, encourage young ones. Let them be happy to be around you. And so enjoy every phase of your life. That will be my response. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Jibril Abdulmalik. Professor MS Abubakar.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Dr. Jibril, for this wonderful talk.
Thank
you, the coordinators for this webinar, the Afri Network group. My issue is I don't know whether there is a tip for many of us in the university now, because you see a lot of people struggling because they love to be in academia. It's not because they couldn't get a job elsewhere and leave the academia, but because they want to be in academia, but you continue to see the lack of interest among the students, even the supporters, maybe some support group of staff. They are not interested in the job, but they're just there because they want to make ends meet. And you see this frustration coming up, and the fact that the salary is not enough to take care of basic needs of academic staff, despite the struggle to make sure things continue to work in the system. I don't know whether there is a tip that academics can be given to be able to make them cope in a very harsh working environment in Nigeria particularly. That is from the point of view of mental health wellness.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. I will still come back to the answer of remember safety rules in the plane. Face mask will drop if there's loss of cabin pressure. Put on your own first before you help others. Now, the reality is not just in Nigeria, wherever you are, in every work environment, Some people will love their work and they do it with a passion. Some people will just be marking time. Some people outrightly, it's like they are even angry that they are doing the work they have been given, and they will try to frustrate you and all of that. These are, unfortunately, different shades of human behavior in every sphere, not just in academia, in every sphere of human endeavor. If you go to the civil service, go to the secretariat, the government ministries, you will find a lot of transferred aggression and frustration and so on. If you go to police station, some policemen say, "Back, come on, do this, come out, back, do this." And you go wondering, have I offended? You greet them, "Good morning, officer." I say, "Huh?" You know, so these are different shades of human behavior in every sphere of life, not just in academia. And for us, one of the tips I mentioned is let us develop our emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is in two domains. Domain one, understand your own emotions and how to regulate your emotions. Domain two, understand the emotions of others and how to relate with them, taking into consideration their emotional behavior. So once we develop our emotional intelligence, we'll be able to flow around and meander around whatever anybody is throwing our way while maintaining our own sanity. I think that is very important because, you see, you can't control adults. Some of them, that's the only way of life they know. That's how they grew up. And they're always angry. They're always quarrelsome. They're always looking for fights. You can't change them. So you have to learn how to navigate and go around them if you know that's how this person is. Some people are very critical. They'll criticize everything you do. And God have mercy on you if they are now your superior. You know you are in trouble. So just develop thick skin. Take the criticism. If there is value, take the value. The one that is just insult, let it just be no skin off your back. Just let it bounce off. And don't think too much. Don't now go home and go and be thinking, I might see my life outside. Oh, not, you know, I've been bullied, I've been insulted. Then you become depressed. So do the best you can. And remember that even God does not come from heaven to intervene. He has left us to solve our problem. You are not God and you are not a Superman. Just do the best you can and leave the rest and enjoy your life as best as you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik. This is quite interesting. And I do not know if we have any contributions, and even within the message chat here, I don't have anything to read. Unless maybe if I can start identifying peoples individually. I can only see Professor Adewale Ade here. Professor Ade, do you have anything to say as far as this lecture is concerned before we round up? Okay.
There's nothing to say. Thank you so much, the presenter.
Okay, sir. All right.
I'll get in touch with him through you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Professor Ade is in my department.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think in the absence of any additional thing, I will invite Professor Kehinde Shoitan to give a closing remark and vote of thanks. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdulmalik, for your time and for this knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shitu. On behalf of the AfriScience Network, we want to show appreciation to Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik for accepting our invitation. Despite the short notice, we met at a training workshop in January, and I discussed this with him, and despite his tight schedule, he accepted March. So we appreciate you, Dr. Abdulmalik, and the AfriScience Network wishes you and the ASIDO Foundation and your career greater heights. And we hope that next time we call upon you, you will kindly oblige us. Thank you so much. So this brings us to the end of our webinar 26, and very soon we'll be announcing the next webinar. So we wish every one of us a nice weekend and enjoy the holidays. Thank you very much.